So what is going on, guys? Miracle with WordTech, and today we have a keyboard from Rosewill. This specific one is from their Neon family. Basically what their Neon family is their whole RGB suite of items, mainly pertaining to keyboards and mice. Behind me I have the Rosewill Neon K81. The keyboard we are going to be looking at has kale blue switches. Normally these keyboards come in a blue, brown, black, or a red kale switch. Today we have the blue. We're going to just go over an overview. We're going to take a look at their suite, what they have to offer, and see my humbled opinion on what this keyboard has to offer for $75. So guys, let's get right into the review. So first impressions with the keyboard, I really thought that it was a great keyboard. The build quality is great. At the bottom of the keyboard it has a brushed aluminum finish. However, there were no raceways or any channels for the cable that came with the keyboard, which I thought was odd. And also, I wasn't a big fan that they did not make a detachable cord for the keyboard. Now, for some people, this might be too much of an RGB keyboard because we have a outer rim where we have RGB and we have the keys that are also RGB. Now, however, we will be looking at this later on. Rosewill's suite that they have for the K81 Neon actually is really nice. There's many different options that you can go towards if you want to turn the RGB rim off. If you want to have it a steady color, different speeds, we're going to be looking at all of that later on. So guys, looking at first impressions with this keyboard, first picking it up, it is actually kind of a decently weighted keyboard for how thin it is. It basically has a brushed aluminum finish. The top has a kind of an aluminum plating, and it's really nice quality. You will see later on with the bend test that I could not bend this keyboard at all. Now, if you guys are thinking like me, this is a lot of RGB. You can see that we have 16.8 million different RGB colors that we can go and pretty much choose whatever we want. We will later on go on into their suite to see what they have to offer. But you also have this weird ring around it with the RGB, and on top of that, you will see later on that there is some brushed aluminum up top that makes RGB pop even more. However, with Rosewill's suite for the K81 Neon, you are able to turn this off if it is too much RGB. Going on to the feel of the keyboard actually feels pretty nice. Even though I'm not a big fan of kale blue switches, I prefer Cherry MX over kale blue, it still feels really nice. It is very responsive. It's not, if you want to know really the difference between kales and cherries, in my opinion, I think cherries are a little bit more clickier and louder compared to kale, but they are both a cherry, or they both are a blue switch, so you are getting that loud tactile feedback. So I'm going to play a clip for you guys right now to see what this kale blue switch sounds like in a typing example. So guys, looking over at Rosewill's K81 Neon suite that you go over to their page and download once you have it installed, you can see that there are a bunch of different type of options you guys can choose for your keyboard. You're able to choose, you can actually map what key that you want to it. If you want to launch a program, run a script or somewhat, you are able to do that with any type of key. You're able to change which way the direction of the colors flow on the rim, this way, that way on the keycaps, what color you want it. If you wanted a solid color, you can all switch that stuff, but there is also profiles on the keyboard that we will go over. Overall, I think that the K81 Neon suite is actually really good. I think it's really nice and simple for any kind of user, whether they are an expert or beginner, to really understand what they are doing with this keyboard. So overall, this is a pretty simple keyboard. It does feature N key rollover, and also a thing that we have is our Windows lock button, and we have a boatload of functions going from screen to home, email, music, pause, stop, play, search, favorite. Pretty much the normal that we would see from any kind of function keys on a keyboard for the top row. In addition to that, we do have different coloring effects that I will go over. I believe that each of them have 6 different profiles, whether you want to go through and mess around with the rim, if you want to have a special different one for the keys. You can modify all that stuff on the keyboard itself, or even better, you just launch into Rosewill's suite if you want to get even a more immersed effect on what colors you want and what kind of gradients you want. In addition to all the great features that this keyboard has to offer, you also do get included this leather wrist rest. I'm not a big fan of these. It would have been nicer if you could attach it to the keyboard, which I've seen some do, but personally, I never use these. Typically, as soon as I get them, I just put them in the box or just throw them out because I don't find them very useful when you put your wrist on it and it just pretty much flops everywhere where the keyboard isn't. So guys, as you guys can see, this keyboard has a lot to offer for the price point of $75. I've seen it on sale between $80 to $70, so definitely keep an eye on it. I will link the current price below for Newegg and Amazon. You are getting a lot of features for this keyboard, however, it does come with all this RGB. If you are a big fan of RGB, then this is definitely the keyboard for you. Even if you're not, you are able to turn down the brightness of the rim. There's just so many different lighting options that you can use with this keyboard. I actually typed a 1,500 word essay for this towards a report, and I actually enjoyed the typing experience, although I'm not a fan of pale blue switches. I enjoyed the typing experience for this. It was a very tactile experience. I thought that everything typed really well. It was really nice flowing. It didn't take any time to adjust to it, and everything felt really good on this keyboard. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want to check out the keyboard, I will have links below for Newegg and Amazon. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.